So hello and welcome to day 4 of this 3,000 kilometer European road trip which we're taking in this Tesla Model 3 Performance all the way from Leeds all the way down to Malta at the south of Europe, which is our home. We've left on this leg of the journey from San Gimignano where we spent the night. We did a charge of the vehicle there in one of the car parks on an NLX charger. It is a slow charger, but that's ideal for the night time. In fact, we left with the vehicle nearly at 100%, and we're now heading to Sorrento in the south of Italy. We will require 2 charging stops along the way. In fact, we've just stopped at one just before Rome. We decided not to use the Tesla charging network today, just to give the other charging networks a go, and we stopped at the Ionity charging network. Ionity is a European charging network which is a joint venture between the Germans, Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, Hyundai and Ford. It is their joint coalition to take on Tesla in what has been a very large expansion in terms of charging architecture, not only in Europe but around the world. Tesla have, of course, 40,000 charging stations now around the world. Ionity are starting to increase their chargers here in Europe. But more details coming soon. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. If you've done this trip before, leave a comment below. So welcome to another episode of The Future is Electric. So if you've been watching this series of videos, if you haven't, the links for the previous episodes are down below. We stopped last night in San Gimignano, which is a very small town. I said it's a city in the last episode. It's a very small town in the northish of Italy, in Tuscany to be exact. That was after a 600 kilometer journey from Switzerland. And today we are driving further south to Sorrento, which is in the Amalfi Coast. It is a 500 kilometer trip, so a bit less distance today. It is recommended we get 2 rapid charges along the way, and we've already done one of them actually. So we tried out the Ionity. The perk of the Ionity, or the advertising thing here, is that they are 350 kilowatt chargers. So I was hoping we're going to see this car's maximum charging rate, which is around 250 kilowatts. We were, of course, at the Tesla chargers getting around 150 at maximum. We arrived at the Ionity charger. We had the app installed and credit card linked and all of that. I think it was relatively easy to get it started. But to our disappointment, the charging speed did not reach the car's maximum, even though the battery was quite empty. We got around 180 kilowatts peak, and of course that starts to go down as the car charges more. The worst thing here is that it was 80 cents a kilowatt, which is nearly double what we were paying for the Tesla charging network.
Not double.
Not double?
Not double, no.
What were we paying? I know we paid 45 cents in France.
It was around, let's say on average 50 cents.
50 cents on
and
average.
this was 79, so almost 80 cents. So a lot more expensive.
So a lot more expensive. In fact, we just stopped the charge after.
This is on a pay-per-use.
Yeah, that's important to mention. That's true. So we were doing a pay-per-use system. Perhaps if you've got the membership, I expect the rate to be cheaper there. So
we've done pay-per-use for both of them, both the Tesla chargers and the Ionity. They were both pay-per-use.
So we are comparing the same thing.
We are comparing like with like. We are comparing
that's
like
true.
with like. Obviously, us being
just driving through, not living here.
Going to Malta, we don't have Tesla chargers, so there's no point in us making an account because we're not using it for the long term. So we use the pay-per-use always.
Exactly, thanks then. And now we are heading to the next Tesla charger en route, around 80 kilometers to go, and this will be our last supercharge of the day in this 500 kilometer trip. And another disappointing or interesting thing to note is that whenever we've plugged in a Tesla charger into the navigation system of the Tesla, around an hour before we get a message where it says preconditioning battery for ideal charging. And what the car does there is going to bring up the battery temperature to 25 degrees by the time you reach the charger. Why? Because at 25 degrees, the car is ready to accept the maximum charge possible, in theory at least. Now, when we plugged in the Ionity charger into the car, we didn't get such a message. So maybe that's Tesla telling us, yo, use our chargers. Another thing, obviously, with the Tesla, using the Tesla charging network, it's very easy. You just go there, no apps, no sign-ins, no codes, no QR code. You plug in the cable and the car starts to charge. And for the most part, not for the most part, in its entirety, the car has taken care of all the route planning. I mean, I genuinely tell you here that we met up for 3 hours. We mainly spent most of it planning the hotels where we're going to be stopping. But in terms of how we're going to get from A to B in the various legs of the journey, I mean, the car has done everything flawlessly. And we've always gotten there with 20%, which is more than enough should anything go wrong once we get there, like a charger not working or anything, but we haven't experienced that. So it will be interesting to see, because I honestly don't know what the other brands are doing in this regard. Probably that's what the brands I mentioned with the Ionity network are doing for them, but the software in the Tesla is just flawless. Another thing I'd like to mention actually was last night we ate at a restaurant in San Gimignano. What was the name?
Il Ceppo Toscano.
Il Ceppo Toscano. So if you're in the area, fantastic food. And I'm not a foodie, but they are fantastic food. And the waiter asked us, like, are you on holiday? What you're doing? We explained what we're doing, and I think his reaction pretty much sums up what I think the rest of society's perception of electric vehicles is. So his first reaction when we told him we're driving a car down from Leeds to Malta was like, whoa. And then I go, it's an electric car, and his jaw literally dropped. He went to tell his waiter, he went to tell the chef, and they all came asking, like, what the hell are you guys doing, you know? And then he came to ask, how long does the car take to charge? And I think this is the...
Actually, it was, to be exact, he said, you're spending a lot of time charging. Yeah. That was his actual
and
response.
In reality, to be honest, I mean, yes, it is a bit longer. It is definitely longer than refueling a car. But on the rapid chargers, we're there for 25-30 minutes. And to be honest, you still need to use the restroom.
It's a comfortable break for the restroom, for a coffee, to have a snack anyway.
So I wouldn't say the fact that it's an electric car is making this journey longer or
realistically not
more difficult at all.
And one last thing, look, maybe you can show them the photo that we've taken of our.
I'll bring it up.
of our bistecca di Fiorentina. Basically, after eating all the meat,
you're left with the Tesla logo.
You're left with the Tesla logo, basically.
So it pretty much sums up this leg of Italy. Great food and Tesla. Sounds like a plan to me. So we'll see you later. I'll give you an update at the next charging stop. It will be a Tesla charger again, and we'll see you there. So we arrived at the Tesla charger, which is right there, but we're gonna try out these Eviva chargers, which are on the same lot essentially, and they are rated at 300. So that's what we want to try out. We want to see also if it how the experience is here. The advantage we have now is that the battery was pre-conditioned for the Tesla chargers, even though we're going to plug into this one here.
This one is actually 99 cents a kilowatt. This is the most expensive we're going to use. Let's see if we get a faster charging rate at least.
How much is it?
99 cents per kilowatt.
And it's funded by the EU, so the EU paid for them, and they're charging €1 per kilowatt. And it's all in the name of research, because we can take the Tesla charger right there. Let's see if we get any faster speed at least.
How are we getting? Look.
181 again.
At the moment.
182. So welcome to one of the tunnels in the Amalfi Coast, close to our destination for today, which is Sorrento. So the hotel we've chosen today actually has, or should have, let's say should, but it should have a Tesla destination charger. It will be the first one we're using on this trip.
To stay on Corso Cordinone.
The GPS is really having some hard time here, keeping up with the updates of these narrow winding roads. Again, I wouldn't say this is the most ideal place if you were to choose the shortest and fastest route down, but we hear they have good pizza here, so we're stopping here. We are at a hotel called Il Roseto at the Amalfi Coast. As you can see behind me, they have two Tesla destination chargers. They are type 2, so they are they will work with any electric vehicle as long as you have a type 2 connection, which is the standard over here. The car is receiving just under 11 kilowatts, so it will be done charging to full in just 5 hours, which, let me tell you, for a night stay is more than enough charging speed. A word of advice if you're going to be coming here to this hotel, once you get down the road entering this area, I advise you turn off the route re-navigation system based on traffic information, because what happened to us, and we realized this the hard way, is the Tesla's navigation, and even if you had Google Maps on, to be honest, was set that it will reroute if it finds a faster route within 5 minutes. Now the problem was the route it sent us on was this narrow road, which we reluctantly followed, and led us to essentially a dead end. But even if it wasn't a dead end, you do not want to be going down this road because it is very narrow. So turn off the route re-navigation stuff and just keep going straight, essentially. That's all we needed to do. And we got here. Owner, or the whoever's at reception, actually is very knowledgeable. So he knew exactly what to do. He turned on the breakers and the chargers are going. So beyond that, we're gonna enjoy our pizza and we'll be back on our next leg tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Like and subscribe.